Last chapter, chapter 53. We want to understand the presence of God. God is everywhere, the essence of God. Higher worlds, lower worlds, there's no distinction. Just like the soul is everywhere in the body, no distinction in the core essence of the soul, head to toe, equally found, but in a hidden, concealed manner. Then there is how the soul animates every single part of the body uniquely. A finger to act like a finger, hair to be hair, brain to be the brain, and the heart to be the heart, and the foot to be the foot, uniquely. But then there is a place of where, and in that uniqueness, everything in creation, there's God animating that element of creation. But the ray of light is so hidden that you look at a stone that God is animating and you think it's lifeless, when in fact it's pulsating with life. But again, we don't perceive that because it's so concealed. So then where is God manifest? So what we learned yesterday, God is manifest, meaning Shechina. Shechina means God's manifestation. Where is that manifestation? So in the metaphor, it's in the brain. That's the first manifestation of the soul in its full undiluted manner. So likewise, God's full manifestation, undiluted, is, as it's manifest, the divine intelligence is manifest through Malchus of Atzilus, which we call Shechina. We also call it Nether Mother. We call it Queen, World of Revelation. It's revealing the Ein Sof. And we explained that it needs to be garbed. It needs to, because it's so powerful. So as Malchus of Atzilus goes down into Bria, into the Holy of Holies there, meaning the divine intelligence there of Chabad, and then vests itself in Malchus there, that it creates, and it is Malchus of Bria. It creates angels and different things in the world. And what is it? A manifestation of the divine. What's that manifestation? So we explain there, it's the Gemara and Bria and Mishnah in Yetzirah and the written law in Asiya. And that is where, in those spiritual realms, we find the divine presence. Well, how about this world? Where do we find it here? So in today's class, we're going to deal with how it was found during the first temple. The first temple, the Holy Temple, the Beis Hamikdash as it's called. So where was it there? It was actually in the Ark, in the tablets specifically, that was housed, the tablets in the Ark, in the Holy of Holies, called the Kodesh Kodashim. There the Shechina is present. Again, the essence of God is everywhere. The concealment of God's animated power is also everywhere, but it's so reduced that we look at a stone and don't even think it's got life to it. We look at a human being and not necessarily we sense the source of that human being, that it's source in God. So where is it manifest? Where is it like palpable? Where is it real? Well, in the first Holy Temple, where was it real? The tablets that were housed in the Ark, that were placed in the Holy of Holies, where of course the high priest, the Kohen Gadol, only went there once a year on Yom Kippur. And if didn't have the proper thoughts, died there. Many Kohanim, high priests, did die on Yom Kippur because they were not fitting. In any case, so there is the Shechina. Malchus of Atzilus is the revealed light of the Ein Sof, right? That is of infinite quality, that transcends all worlds. Nevertheless, where was it revealed? In the Holy of Holies, in the tablets. And it clothed itself in the 10 Commandments. Right? Those 10 Commandments are engraved on the tablets. Again, that is placed in the Ark of the Covenant, in the Kodesh Kodashim, in the Holy of Holies. And the intensity of that manifestation of the divine presence, Shekhinah, that manifests the Ein Sof, is more intense and greater than even the revelations that were in the Holy of Holies in the higher worlds that we spoke about yesterday, I just briefly mentioned. Right? So, how is it possible that the Holy Temple, located in a physical world, Ark of the Covenant and the tablets that are physical, that the Shekhinah should be found there in the physical realm in a greater manner than it is in the spiritual worlds? So the Alter Rebbe explains, because the Ten Commandments, they are an embodiment of all of the Torah, of all 613 commandments. And where does it come from? The Torah. And hence the embodiment of all of the Torah and the Ten Commandments. Where does it come from? From Chochmah Yilah, supernal wisdom of Atzilus, which is far higher and greater than Malchus of Atzilus, which is the world of manifestation. Right? So it's far greater. So it was Malchus of Atzilus, right? That's the Shekhinah, the divine presence, as it clothed itself in each world and manifested in each world. So it is lesser than Torah itself, which is the divine intelligence, supernal wisdom, which is far greater than Malchus. Chochmah is the first of the 10 divine attributes. Malchus is the last of the 10. So it is far greater. So therefore, Torah that comes from there is far greater than Malchus of Atzilus, which is the power of the Creator to create. Now, even though the Torah descended into 10 Commandments engraved in tablets, and so it's of a physical nature, but yet what was reflected in it is something far beyond even the spiritual worlds. So in order to engrave them in material tablets of stone, the supernal divine wisdom of Torah, which is of Torah, of course, it didn't descend and is manifest in the stones like regular nature of things are, right, of the material world. Because if it paralleled the descent, of how everything is created, so a stone is inanimate. And when you look at a stone, you see something that's lifeless. But not when you saw the 10 Commandments. It didn't look lifeless. Not at all. Why? Because it doesn't parallel the regular physical reality of creation. Because everything in the physical world goes through the evolutionary stages of each world and each of the attributes of the world, and from Malchus, and finally comes down to Malchus of Asiya, Malchus of Asiya, which we're coming to in the count, which will be Friday night, will be the last count, which will be Malchus of Malchus, the lowest level of reaching. So that's how everything evolves. But that's not what happened to the 10 Commandments as they're engraved in the stone. Right? It didn't evolve that way. That's why the tablets are called the work of God. Maise Elokim Hema. The Michtav Elokim Hu. Not only is it the work of God, meaning that it's not everything's the work of God, of course. But the work of God through nature, you don't see the work of God. Again, a stone looks lifeless. And it's the writing of God. Again, what does that mean? It means that you perceive godliness. It's manifest. It's revealed. That because it's beyond, as a result of being of the work of God and the writing of God, therefore it's beyond nature of the material world. Right? Where the nature of everything in this world evolves and gets its vitality from, Malchus of Asiya. But the holy tablets was not the case. They get their vitality. And remember, the vitality means everything comes from God, Ein Sof, but it vests itself, which means it's a come down. So, and therefore it conceals some of that, or much of that light and that energy and that power of creator. So the supernal chachma of Atzilus, which is consisting of the totality of the Torah, right, is encapsulated in the Ten Commandments, clothes itself in Malchus of Atzilus, and then in Bria alone. And it doesn't have any further investiture, any further garments. So, as a result of that, the Shekhinah there rested, right, because it was an embodiment of Malchus of Bria in the Holy Temple, the first Holy Temple, in the Ten Commandments engraved. And that's why the Ten Commandments, when you looked at it, you saw and experienced holiness. If you read the Ten Commandments on one side, because they were engraved through and through, you saw writing going, Anochi Hashem Elokecha. If you turn to the back side, so you'd see it should be backwards, right? Because it's engraved through and through. Miracle. You still see it and read it. I am the Lord your God, the way it was written on both sides, as if there's only a front side. And the letters Samach and Mem were circular letters, were hewn. They stood and didn't fall out. That's beyond nature, what I just described. Why? Because it's the work of the living God. And therefore, it didn't conceal on the presence of God in the tablets. And that's why it's such a holy place. And that's why, if a Kohen went there, on Yom Kippur, had to be an appropriate person to be able to engage that lofty manifestation. So that's where it was, the divine presence in the first temple, in the Holy of Holies, an embodiment of, or a reflection of Malchus of Bria. Bria is the first world. So it didn't, in other words, it didn't engage in the world of Yetzirah and Asiya, which means that it would be more garments, more concealing on the light. And because there was less concealing on the light, that's why the tablets were of a miraculous nature. Because nature, see, miracle and nature are really the same thing, coming from the same God. The difference is only how much is concealing the light, how much is revealing the light. So when we want to speak about the presence of God, we want to speak about where is it revealed? Where is it manifest? Where is it palpable? So where is it palpable? In the Holy of Holies, in the first Holy Temple. Thereafter, well, we're going to learn more about the Second Temple. We'll learn about today, and to understand and appreciate where the presence of God is. But this is the coming down to appreciate where we can find God in a very palpable and real way. So that's why in the times of the Holy Temple, it's a mitzvah to do Aliyah. Aliyah means to go up to Jerusalem 3 times a year. Passover, Shavuos, and Sukkot. It's a mitzvah to make Aliyah. Why? Because you need to go to a place where things are a little different, where holiness is manifest, where God's presence is manifest. During the year, you get stuck at work, you get stuck you get stuck, doing good stuff, but you don't sense holiness. Come to the Holy Temple, and there, you experience. Where is the greatest of that experience? Is in the Holy of Holies. It extended beyond there, the experience and the sense of holiness and godliness and God's manifestation. But the primary and the base of it is in the Holy of Holies, in the physical world. So in the previous class we spoke about the Holy of Holies in the spiritual realm, and that is the divine wisdom, right? Chachma v'Atzilus, and it's manifest through Malchus, right? So just like divine intelligence that a person has is manifest through our speech, which Malchus is concept, the idea of speech. That reveals. So, where is it revealed now? That the Holy of Holies is expressed in the tablets, in the 10 Commandments, because it didn't have all these garments go through the regular evolutionary process. And this is what evolution means for Jews. Well, not just for Jews, for everybody. It means God's evolutionary process to create nature, from the spiritual to the physical, from 4 worlds, world of emanation, 3 created worlds, and each one is a lower degradation of more garments that conceal the light, greater contraction of the light, right? Until we come to the physical world. So, but then there is a place that is special and unique. What's that place that's special and unique? Where the presence of God is real and palpable. The Holy of Holies, the first Holy Temple of the tablets. Very powerful. Any questions, any comments, any thoughts? 2 question marks before you ask a question, please. All right. I don't see it. Oh, Yehudis has a question. Yehuda. Would you say that God is revealed in everything just to varying degrees? No, that's not how we're explaining. It's God. We're learning Hasidus, so therefore we have an appreciation that God is revealed even in an inanimate object. So we understand that. We don't see it. We don't experience. I'm experiencing the Word of God that's animating this mug. The Rambam mug. Rambam's coming very shortly. Come and join us. You follow what I'm saying? Experience. And we're talking about experience, not knowing. Of course God is everywhere. Of course God is animating an inanimate object as he is animating, the trees, animals, humans, angels, souls. Of course. No question about that. And of course, it's to varying degrees, no question. But it's not experienced. We know it. We're not experiencing it. That's the difference. But excellent question. John. So the final men and the Samach were resistant to breakage because of the remained rooted in the upper Chochmah of Atzilus. Okay. John, you're a real Kabbalist. Good, very good. Good. Sarah, I don't see the little donation button anywhere. Is that still possible? Well, Chabad.org, if you want to give to Chabad.org, yeah, I'm sure there's somewhere there. Yeah, if that's what you were thinking of. Yusuf, is a non-Jewish person exempt from hearing the 10 utterance and 10 commandments on Shavuos? Yes, they're not. Well, let's put it this way: they're not obligated. It's a Jewish obligation, right? It's not a non-Jew is not obligated. And if the person is detained after urban conversation, yeah, no, so don't worry. All right, amazing. Michael, please share.
Hello, Rabbi. Fine. Moshe received also the Torah and the Old Torah. How did the Old Torah went from Moshe through the line of the sages? We understand how he received 10 commandments and how he received everything in this moment. But how went this light from Moshe to the other sages who later wrote the Mishnah and the Talmud? How is this explained?
The Rambam explains how it was passed down from generation to generation. That was the beginning of the Rambam when we started anew last week. So it's there. He passed it down. He taught it. He taught it, to Yeshua and so on and so forth.
I meant that there were details who weren't written down, who were only in Moshe knew it, and then afterwards it got revealed.
He taught it. Yeah, he taught. Moshe was taught by God, and he taught Aaron. He taught his sons. He taught the elders, and he taught, the entire Jewish people. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, thank you. All right, folks, we're going to open up the Zoom at 770, 770, 6085, learning the laws of idolatry, which is quite intriguing. So please do come and join us. You can open that. And if you want to see it on Facebook, you can see it on Chabad ZK on Facebook, or again on Zoom. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from Chabad Zichron Kadeshim in Montreal, Canada, where it is a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. Have a wonderful and great day.